Hi everyone, it's a topic of class 9, distance and displacement, and it is very confusing topic of the physics. If you want to love from the physics, then you have to understand the concept clearly. So I am here with you to teach you your concept clearly and make your concept to be very rigid. So in this video I am going to discuss about what is the main difference between the distance and displacement and what are the method to calculate the distance and displacement. So I am going to start. So first of all, listen more and more about the distance from the class 5 to 6, but you haven't listened any time to the displacement. In class 9 first you have listened and you are directly get to aback by this thing. So what is the distance? Distance means distance means actual path length which is covered by an object. You could write here means actual path length covered by an body. And what is the displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance from initial point to final point. So what is the main difference? So it is the shortest distance, displacement is the shortest distance, and the another difference which you could say that I am going to make like a difference. So here you could here see in this, here I am going to discuss about the distance and in this side displacement. So it is the actual path length, and it is the shortest length. So how can you understand this? Let's see, I have to go from here in, let's make a triangle here. Here we get in triangle like this. This is a point A and this is the point B. If I have to travel the point from the point A to the point B, then we cover this distance as we go from here and here. This is called the distance because in this case we have covered the actually path length that we have to go. But if I have to calculate the displacement from the point A to B, then we could only go through the point A directly to the B. So this will be a shortest distance. Let's see, this figure become the square. So this is a 5 and 5 centimeter. So in this case, the distance become the 15 centimeter as a body goes from the here to here. And if you ask the displacement, the shortest distance. So this is the 5 centimeter. So here you could see the how major difference we have in the distance and displacement. So one major thing that I am going to tell you about the displacement can be zero even. Just like if the object travels in this, just consider a case, a circle. This is a circle where a boy A started and travel here and here, come again here. So the displacement of this boy, because as it started from the point A and stopped to the point A, so the displacement become the zero from the point A to A. But the distance become this. For the circle is the circumference, which means the 2 pi r. So that distance traveled by an object A will be the 2 pi r, but the displacement at the same time will remain zero. That means the displacement can be zero. That means displacement can be zero in the case when the object get on same position. This is called the displacement, and it cannot be zero. It cannot be zero because when object something travels, then how it could be a zero? But displacement could be a zero. And one major thing which you also remember, it is a vector quantity and it is a scalar quantity. What do you mean by vector quantity and a scalar quantity? Vector means required the direction, if when I will ask you if you have to travel from here to here, then you have taken a direction. This is why it become a very small distance for this to the point A to B. If you haven't used any direction, then you go through this and this, then you cover a lot of distance. So the direction when we use is to connect the first point, initial point to the final point, then it is called the displacement. So this is why it is the shortest distance. If someone will ask you how to find the displacement in the triangle, so in the any figure just you have to keep in the mind that where is the initial point and where is the final point, and make a straight line to join those initial point to the final point, you will get the displacement. In this triangle, let's see, this side is the 3 centimeter and this is the 5 centimeter. So what will be the distance covered by an object when it travel from the point A to the point B? So the distance will be 8. 3 plus 5 will be 8 centimeter. And what is the displacement? So remember that the displacement means shortest distance. So how could you find the shortest distance? When you connect the initial point to the final point by a straight line. So draw here a straight line. If here is the angle 90, so by the Pythagoras theorem you could find what will the length of AB. So just find here, square plus 5 square is equal to h square. I think you may know about the Pythagoras theorem. So here will be a 9 and 25 is equal to h square. That means it is a 34. H is equal to root 34. So this will be the displacement of this point. So it is the displacement. And remember a thing, displacement could be the equal to the distance, and displacement could be 0, and displacement cannot be greater than the distance. What do you mean? I am going to make you understand this what I had said. As you know that if let's see a point A and this is the point B, AB is the straight line. If I will ask you, when a body started, an object started traveling or running from the point A and reaches to the point B, so it is the point A to B is the 10 meter. So what will the distance? The distance will be a 10 meter. And what will the displacement? So in this case, the shortest distance means joining by the straight line. So this is already a straight line. That means the distance and displacement will remain same only when in the case of straight line. So in this case, the distance and displacement remain same. And in the circle, you will get that if a point is starting from A and just get to a stop to the A, then displacement becomes 0, but distance become 2 pi r, because it cover this circumference of the circle. But there are two conclusions which you get. Distance could be equal to the displacement, and the displacement could be 0 even though there will be some distance. So, and another conclusion is that the displacement cannot be greater than the distance, because the displacement is the shortest distance. So this is why I think you may understand what do you mean by this. And so what is the way to represent the distance and displacement? What are the symbol? Because both are starting from the D and D. So here we used to denote the displacement by the S. So S we used to denote the term displacement, and distance is normally used with a D. So here we have both in different term to express their things. So if I am asking you a question in which you have to explain, how will we get the answer of this question? Let's see, here we have a point A and through which we have covered like this distance and go to the point B. Let's see. So the length of this point is something 20 meter. Okay. If I connect the point A to B, this is what? This is the displacement. That means it is the less than 20 centimeter. So in this way you get to understand that if you are finding the shortest distance from the point A to the point B, then it is called the displacement. And remember that the displacement of the 2 point you could only find when you are joining by the straight line. You cannot make a small distance like this. If you will join this AB like this, and you will say that this is also smaller than this, but this will be not correct answer, because if you will join by the straight line, this will be a shortest distance between the A and B, even though it is something a larger as we move and make a tilt here. So this is why displacement is always by joining the point A to B, or the initial point to the final point by in straight line. And I think you may get over this and you understand the concept of distance and displacement. And thank you for today.